ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। सर्वशास्त्राब्धिपीयूषा सर्ववेदैकसत्फला सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाद्या सर्वलोकैकदृक्पदा सर्वभागवता प्राण श्रीमद्भागवता प्रभो कलिध्वंसोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तिता परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवर्षक्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तुते। मदेकबन्धु मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मन्महाधना मन्निस्तारका मद्भाग्या मदानन्दा नमोऽस्तुते। असाधु साधुतादायिन् अतिनीचोचताकरा भानामुञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्ण हृत्कण्ठयो स्फुरा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. So now we are in the third canto, chapter 3. This chapter entitled The Lord's Pastime Out of Vrindavan. So Uddhava is explaining, Lord's activities, Lord's pastimes out of Vrindavan. So in the previous chapter, he talked about Lord's pastime in Vrindavan and Mathura. Now he is explaining outside, mainly Dwarka. So far we have covered text 20 till 19 we covered, is it?
Yes, Prabhu. We have done 19.
So we have to start 20th, right? So who is anybody sharing the screen? Or else I'll share, no problem. Yeah. Can you see my screen, Prabhus?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So in the text 19, we see, simultaneously the personality of Godhead enjoyed in the city of Dwaraka, strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of the society. He was situated in a detachment and knowledge as enunciated by Samkhya's system of philosophy. So we know the definition of Bhagavan. So the definition given by Parashar Muni ऐश्वर्यस्य समग्रस्य वीर्यस्य यशसः श्रियः ज्ञानवैराग्ययोश्चैव सन्नां भग इतिङ्गणाम्. So the Lord has having six opulences. That is Aishwaryasya Samagrasya. Aishwarya, he's got all the opulence. Then Aishwarya, Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya, he is very strong. Yashasaha is very famous. He is very beautiful. Then he is knowledgeable and also he is renunciate. So the Lord exhibits all these qualities to the full. So being so, we are the part and parcel of the Krishna. So living entities also possess these opulences in a minuscule, in a small quantity. So that's the reason the devotees are called as Bhagyavan. So because we are possessing all this, but in a very minute quantity. So nobody can claim I'm the owner of this entire universe, right? You may be a rich, but you are rich to a certain extent. So in that way, so here in this text it is said, the Lord, he was enjoying his life in Dwarka. At the same time, he was situated in detachment as well as knowledge. We move on to text 20. स्निग्धस्मितावलोकेन वाचा पीयूषकल्पया चरित्रेण वद्येन श्रीनिकेतनचात्मना. Can somebody read the translation and purport?
Yes, Prabhu. He was there in his transcendental body, the residence of the goddess of fortune, with his usual gentle and sweetly smiling face, his nectarian words, and his flawless character. In the previous verse, it is described that Lord Krishna, being situated in the truths of Sankhya philosophy, is detached from all kinds of matter. In the present verse, it is described that he is the residence of the goddess of fortune. These two things are not at all contradictory. Lord Krishna is detached from the variegatedness of the inferior nature, but he is eternal, blissful enjoyment of the spiritual nature or his internal potency. One who has a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand this distinction between the external and internal potencies. In Bhagavad Gita, the internal potency is described as the Para Prakriti. In the Vishnu Puran, also, the internal potency of Vishnu is described as Para Shakti. The Lord is never detached from the association of Parashakti. This Parashakti and her manifestations are described in the Brahma Samhita 5.37 as Ananda Chinmay Ras Pratibha Vatibha. This Lord is eternally joyful and cognizant in the taste derived from such transcendental bliss. Negation of the variegatedness of the inferior energy does not necessitate negation of the positive transcendental bliss of the spiritual world. Therefore, the Lord's gentleness, his smile, his character, and everything related to him are all transcendental. Such manifestations of the internal potency are the reality of which the material shadow is only a temporary representation from which everyone with proper knowledge must be detached. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. So here he is telling the Lord, he was there in his transcendental body. So we have discussed this point several times. So we are all have material body, but Lord is having transcendental body. So our bodies are subjected to the six changes. What are the six changes? We have read in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter. The soul undergoes six changes. Can anyone remember?
Prabhu, birth, then
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then it takes
just the,
birth.
then
Okay.
he grow, then he stabilizes, then he produce products, and then I think
Dwindles.
the the body dwindles and then he dies.
Yes. These are the six changes. So constantly, this body keep on changing. So it's stated that if you have not seen a person for 7 years, you will not able to recognize him. Because it's stated that in 7 years, all the cells of our body will get changed. So you will not able to recognize him. So he'll become a new person. So this is the condition. This is the fate of a conditioned soul. But the Lord is not like that. He is always Navayavana. He is always ever youthful. He does not grow more than 16 years of old. So even when Mahabharata war is taking place, the Lord is 125 years old. But he is always ever youthful. And also when Lord comes here, he does not take birth like us. This is confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter. So Arjuna had this question, right? Arjuna, you say this transcendental knowledge you have imparted to Vivaswan, Surya Bhagavan. But Surya Bhagavan was there, many years ago. But me and you we are now. Then for that Lord, he says, Bahuni me vetitani janmani tavacharjuna. So Arjuna, me and you, both of us has taken several birth. But I remember every one of them, but you don't. So then when he comes again further, he says, Ajopisan avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropisan prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. So when the Lord comes here, he comes on his own will. Whereas the conditioned soul like us, we are subjected to the laws of karma. So you have studied in the same section. No, it is yet to come. In future it will come. Kapil Dev is going to explain how a conditioned soul take a body. So he says there, karmana daiva netrena. So we get a particular body because of two things. One is karmana, because of our past activities. Then second, by the supervision of the Lord. So because of this, we get our body. Sometimes we are in the body of a human. Sometimes again, you're a rich man. Then sometimes you are a poor man. And sometimes in the species of animal. So all these things will happen. This is because of our karma. But whereas Lord is not like that. He always comes with his transcendental body. And when he comes, he is not at all affected by any of these material modes. He is completely aloof. Like example, how somebody may question, how is that possible? This material world is full of, material energy. So Lord is also subjected to the three modes of material nature. It's not so. The example Krishna himself gives in Bhagavad Gita. In the 5th chapter, he says, Padma Patra Ivambasa, meaning a lotus flower. You have all seen that, right? When the lotus flower, which is inside the water, it looks like it is completely wet. But the moment it comes out, even not a single drop of water will stick onto that. It looks, very solid dry. So like Lord is like that. Though he is there in this material world, he is not subjected to any of this material laws, or material nature will not affect him. Then further it is stated that other example is, Prabhupada oftentimes gives, like the people, they are working in the healthcare industries, for example, in the hospitals. See, especially when in the times of pandemics, the hospitals are flooded with patient. Everyone is practically is affected by the pandemic. But there are staff there, the nurses, the doctors, then physicians. They are also going there, but they are not affected. They are there to treat the people. So like that, when the Lord comes, he will never attracted by this material world. Then further, it is stated that in the 7th chapter, Lord has got two energies, para prakriti, apara prakriti. So in the 7th chapter, Lord says, Bhumira Vayuhu. He explains his 8 apara prakriti, para prakriti. That is, can somebody remember what is that 8 external energies of the Lord? Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu.
Earth, fire, air, water, ether.
Yeah, this is the Panchabhutas. Then what are other three?
A
Mind, ego,
false
and
ego.
intelligence.
Yeah,
False ego as well, I think.
yeah.
Mind, ego, and intelligence.
Thank you. Thank you, Amrit Pro. So, yeah, these are the eight which are considered Lord's external energy. Then in the next verse, Lord tells, Apareyam itastvanvam prakriti viddhime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. So apart from these eight energies, there is one more energy which is higher than this, which is called as apara prakriti. That is the living entities. So what these living entities are doing? They are exploiting this eight inferior energies. So in any case, this para prakriti and apara prakriti both are comes from the Lord only. So they cannot exist without the Lord. So therefore, so Lord can never be, he's a combination of both para prakriti and apara prakriti. So then in the purport Srila Prabhupada course, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabi. So these are all Lord's manifestation only, like both para prakriti and apara prakriti. And the Lord is always cognizant and he is fully joyful. So in the first words of Brahma Samhita, it is stated that, one second. Yeah, sorry, devotees. Someone has come. Okay. So the Lord is eternally joyful. That is Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. The Lord is always joyful, cognizant, and he is always in the transcendental bliss. So this is, and he's always smiling. So, and his character and everything is related to him are all transcendental. So that is the Lord's constitutional position. Whereas the Jiva's constitutional position, though it is Sanatan, it is eternal, but it is subjected to this material world, then what we do? Manashrestani indriyani prakritistani karshati. So we are caught in this cycle of material nature, then we struggle very hard. So we move on to text 21. Imam lokam amum chaiva ramyam sutram yadun ramye.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, your mic is muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Text 21. Imam lokam amum chaiva ramyam sutaram yadun reme kshanadhaya datta kshanastri kshanasauhrudaha. Yeah. Can somebody read the translation, please? Translation and purport.
Yes, Prabhu. The Lord enjoyed his pastimes both in this world and in other worlds, that is, higher planets, especially in the association of the Yadu dynasty. At leisure hours, offered by night, he enjoyed the friendship of conjugal love with women. The Lord enjoyed in this world with his pure devotees, although he is the personality of the Godhead and it's transcendental to all material attachment. He nevertheless exhibited much attachment for his pure devotees on the earth, as well as for demigods who engage in his service in the heavenly planets as powerful delegated directors in the management of all material activities. He displayed special attachment for his family members, the Yadus, as well as for his 16,000 wives, who had the opportunity to meet him in the leisure hours of night. All these attachments of the Lord are manifestations of his internal potency, of which the external potency is only a shadow representation. In the Skand Puran, Prabhash Khand, in the topics between Lord Shiva and Gauri, the manifestation of his internal potencies is confirmed. There is a mention of the Lord's meeting with 16,000 cowherd damsels, although he is the Hamsa, transcendental super soul and maintainer of all living entities. The 16,000 cowhead themselves are a display of 16 varieties of eternal potencies. This will be more elaborately explained in the 10th canto. It is said there that Lord Krishna is just like the moon, and the damsels, part of his internal potencies, are like the stars around the moon. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So the Lord comes from uh, Chandra dynasty, Chandra Vamshi. So that's the reason we call it as Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai, whereas Ram come from Surya dynasty. So in this way, the Lord is enjoying his pastime. So both in this world as the other world, because basically the Supreme Lord is meant for his only job is to he is always enjoying, because Prabhupada oftentimes would give this example. So when like if you see Krishna, he's always holding flute, and he is always accompanied with this gopis, and he's playing playful mode. He's never stressed like other deva devitas, right? He's always in the joyful mode. So then other thing is Krishna is always Krishna need not to do anything, as confirmed in Shvetashvara Upanishad, na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. So Krishna need not to do any work like us, and no one is equal to him or above him. Then parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate. So all because of his external energy, so all the things are happening on its own. Like the sun is rising time to time, moon is rising, then wind is blowing, so the rain is showering the rains. All these things are happening, because they are afraid of Krishna. On the order of Krishna, they are all performing. So their job is very nicely, and Krishna need not to get into all these minute details how to run this material world. There are material agents he has appointed, so everything is working on its own. So, but at the same time, Krishna reciprocates with his devotees in whatever the way one wishes to worship him. So, ye yatha mam prapadyante, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, as we surrender unto him, he reciprocates. If somebody wants to have relationship with the Lord as a conjugal, Krishna will reciprocate with that. If somebody wants to treat Krishna as his, in the parental, rasa, Krishna is ready to that. If somebody wants to worship him as a friend, Krishna is ready for that. He reciprocates as per the desires of his devotees. And Krishna is also known as Bhakta Vatsala. He is always controlled by his devotees. He doesn't have independence. So the more one devotee surrendered to him, Krishna will become puppet in their hands. We have seen in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So how the gopis would make him to dance. That is Sri Krishna. So we move to text 22. Yeah.
Prabhu, why there is a mention of Hamsa Avatar here?
Hamsa means basically what, Prabhu? Basically, Hamsa is very pure, right? So you know what Hamsa does. One
Okay,
sec,
okay.
Prabhu. Right, Prabhu, what does Hamsa does?
He can separate the water from the milk.
Yeah. So like that, Krishna is also, he's pure. But still, what he does, because of the, he wants to reciprocate with his devotees, he comes here. But at the same time, he never subjected to this laws of material nature. That's why it's mentioned here as Hamsa, meaning he's always transcendental. And he's a super soul, and he is the one who is maintaining everyone. Right? Oftentimes people will, ridicule, Krishna is a immoral person. He married, wives of other. But actually, the same question was asked to Srila Prabhupada. Some people said, your Krishna is immoral. He is playing with the wives of others. But then Prabhupada said, no, he chastised them. So everybody belong to Krishna because we are all part and parcel of Krishna, right? So then Prabhupada chastised him. In fact, you are the culprit. You are playing with the, Krishna's energy. So you should be punished. So that is the understanding. So they're all, first of all, we know they are all great transcendental rishis. They wanted to have, conjugal relations with Krishna. So they are all the, Krishna is facilitating those activities in this avatar as Krishna, which he could not able to do while he was in Ram. These people are the great sages of Dandakaranya rishis. So like that, this is further when we go to the 10th canto, so there will be a, it's fully explained, especially in the 5th chapter, which is known as Rasa Panchadhyayi. It starts from 10 canto 29 to 33. These are the 5 chapters which talks about Rasa Leela. So this is basically what he's telling is, Krishna is like moon, and he's surrounded by so many stars. So which are all his internal energy, internal potencies only. Okay. Text 22. Tasvaivam Ramamanasya Samvatsara Ganan Bahun Gruhamedeshu Yogeshu Viraga samajayata. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Lord was thus engaged in household life for many, many years, but at last his detachment from ephemeral sex life was fully manifested. Purport. Even though the Lord is never attached to any kind of material sex life, as the universal teacher, he remained a householder for many, many years just to teach others how one should live in householder life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the word Samajayata means fully exhibited. In all his activities while present on the earth, the Lord exhibited detachment. This was fully displayed when he wanted to teach by example that one should not remain attached to household life for all the days of one's life. One should naturally develop detachments as a matter of course. The Lord's detachment from household life does not indicate detachments from his eternal associates, the transcendental cowherd damsels. But the Lord desired to end his so-called attachments to the three modes of material nature. He can never be detached from the service of his transcendental associates like Rukmini and other goddess of fortune, as described in Brahma Samhita 5.29. Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevyamanam. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Amrit Prabhu. So here the Lord remained in household life for many, many years, as we have seen, right? Almost he has remained in his household life more than 110 years. So, but it doesn't mean that he lived like us. So because Lord is transcendental. We can nowhere compare where we live with the Krishna. But Krishna, being the supreme teacher, he always teach by the example. In Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, the Lord himself says, Hey Arjun, if I doesn't follow myself, then how can tell somebody to follow? He says, यदि हेयं न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यतन्द्रितः मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वेशः. I mean, there he says, if I don't follow, how can I expect other to follow? And in the next verse he says, yad yad acharati shrestha devetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. So in that verse he says, as the leader follows, the common man will pursue, right? So whatever the leaders will set, the common person will follow in their path. So Krishna want to set proper path for all the living entities. So he remained in his in the grahastha for so long. It doesn't mean that he's like like us. He is totally attached to us. And also when it comes to a household life, in the first canto we have studied, there are two kind of people. One is grahasthas, other one is grahamedi. So grahastha is the one who is leading a religious life, keeping Krishna around the center. The life of attraction from him is the Krishna. So whereas Grihamedi is the one who is too much attached to material activities, like wife, children, and his in Srimad Bhagavatam explains. So morning time he works so hard to earn and maintain the family, and in the night time he is busy with his sex life. So those are the nature of the Grahamedis. But Grahasthas are the people who are engaged in Krishna consciousness. They are leading a rightful life as enunciated by the Shastras. And this Grahastha ashrama is such a wonderful ashrama. It maintains other three ashrams also. Like this is the only ashram, Grahastha ashrama. Grahasthas are the one who maintains brahmacharis. Also they maintain vanaprastha, and also they support sannyasis, right? So such a glorious ashram. So Krishna exhibited, being in that family life, and like as we go further, it's very nicely explained. And Krishna would do various activities at various houses. As we know, right? Krishna had 16,108 queens. He manifested himself with all 16,108. And Narad Muni wanted to check what Krishna is doing. It's not like it's a like stereotype activities are going on. For example, Krishna is sitting in one house and he is giving a lecture. All other 16,107 Krishnas also giving the same thing. No, it's not like that. In each and every house, Krishna was doing different pastime. In one house, Narad Muni personally goes and checks this. In one house, Krishna is engaged in deity worship. In other house, Krishna is helping, his wife. In the third house, he's preparing the children. So all this thing, Krishna is having different activities. So he's doing all this just to teach us. And also at the time of, that when time has come, he has to end his leela, end his pastime here. Then what he did? He renounced everyone, all his queens, and he handed over them to Arjun, and then he went back. So he was not at all attached. In this way, he has exhibited. He lived a longer life as a grahastha. When the time comes, he has given detachment. So in this way, Krishna is teaching. So every one of us, yes. So we should be there in the grahastha ashram. At the same time, over attachment is not required, because as the laws of nature, the whoever is there on this material world, one day or other they have to leave their body. So they should prepare. As we grow old, we should know this point and keep preparing, not attaching too much for the family and other things. At the same time, we're not promoting, give a family life and go and stay somewhere. No, be there, but reduce your attachment to material activities. So this is what has been said here. Then we move on to text 23. Daivadineshu kameshu दैवाधीना स्वयं पुमान् को विश्रम्भेत योगेन योगेश्वरम् अनुव्रतः. Can somebody read
Hare
translation?
Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji.
Can I read Prabhuji? Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Every living entity is controlled by a supernatural force, and thus his sense enjoyment is also under the control of that supernatural force. No one therefore can put his faith in Lord Krishna's transcendental sense activities, but one who has become a devotee of the Lord by rendering devotional service. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, no one can understand the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord. The same fact is herein corroborated. No one but one who is enlightened by the devotional service of the Lord can understand the difference between the Lord's activities and those of the others, who are controlled by the supernatural force. The sense enjoyment of all animals, men, and demigods within the purview of the material universe is controlled by the supernatural force called the Prakriti or Devi Maya. No one is independent in obtaining sense enjoyment, and everyone in the material world is after sense enjoyment. Persons who are themselves under the control of supernatural power cannot believe that Lord Krishna is not under any control beyond himself in the matter of sense enjoyment. They cannot understand that his senses are transcendental. In the Brahma Samhita, the Lord's senses are described as omnipotent. That is, with any sense, he can perform the activities of the other senses. One who has limited senses cannot believe that the Lord can eat by his transcendental power of hearing and can perform the act of sex life simply by seeing. The controlled living entity cannot even dream of such sense activities in his conditional life. But simply by the activities of bhakti yoga, he can understand that the Lord and his activities are always transcendental. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 18.55, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yash chashmi tattvataha. One cannot know even a fraction of the activities of the Lord if he is not a pure devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So, the living entities, we are puffed of our, sense enjoyments, right? We think, this whole material is meant for us, and we can enjoy whatever we want. So that concept is there. Ishvaroham aham bhogi. I am the controller, and this whole creation is for me to enjoy. So this is the way of the people living entity are thinking, especially the non-devotees. But factually, there is a limit to everything. They cannot enjoy. Suppose if somebody wants to eat a lot, so they cannot eat. They can eat up to the limit. Otherwise, then there will be a stomach disorder. Similarly, any activity you take, you cannot exceed beyond the limit, because we are all controlled by the nature, that is supernatural force. It means, in another words, we are all controlled by the Krishna. So we cannot do whimsically. The Prabhupada gives often time example, like the living entities have got minute independence. What is that minute independence? Like if you have seen, in India, so what they will do, just for grinding the grains, they will tie, there will be central pole, and they will tie, cows or axes to with the rope. And what they will do, the cows or axes, they will revolve it, and they have independent of that small distance, like that living entities also got a independence, but it's very small. It doesn't mean that I can do whatever I want. So we're all controlled by the supernatural power. And we cannot imitate, as Krishna is doing, right? Krishna, somebody says, he wants to marry many wives. If somebody questioned him why you are doing this, he says, Krishna does that, so I want to do it. But Krishna has done other activities also, like he lifted Govardhan hill, right? He did so many wonderful things. So will you able to do that, right? We are not able to do that, right? So we cannot imitate Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas and Krishna is the Vibhu. He is the controller, whereas living entities are Anu. a fractional atomic portion. In no way we can compare, or we can compare ourselves with the Krishna. So, but devotees are not baffled by these things, right? Because devotees knows, so who is Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how can we know him? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. You can know me only through bhakti. So then, yavan yaschasmi tatvataha. Not only knowing me, so you can enter my kingdom. So how that is possible? Only through the devotional service. So the Srimad Bhagavatam and all other scriptures, they have given so much emphasis on bhakti, devotional service, because this is the devotional service only will awaken our love for Krishna. Otherwise, we cannot awaken. So we will be entrapped with this three modes of material nature. If you want to really come out of this modes of clutches of material nature, the best thing is just render devotional service unto the Krishna. So when we do that, what happens? Yayatma suprasidati. So as Sutta Goswami says, the conditioned soul will become very blissful. So we want to text 24. Puryam kadachit kridadbhir yadu boja kumarakaihi kopita munaya sepur bhagavan matakovidaha.
Once upon a time, the great sages were made angry by the supporting activities of the princely descendants of the Yadu and Bhoja dynasties, and thus, as desired by the Lord, the sages cursed them. The associates of the Lord who were playing the part of a princely descendants of the Yadu and Bhoja dynasties were not ordinary living entities. It is not possible that they could offend any saintly man or sage. Nor could the sages, who were all pure devotees of the Lord, be influenced to anger by any of the sporting activities of the princes born in the holy dynasties of Yadu and Bhuja, wherein the Lord himself appeared as a descendant. The cursing of the princes by the sages was another transcendental pastime of the Lord to make a show of anger. The princes were cursed in order that one may know that even the descendants of the Lord, who could never be vanquished by any act of material nature, were subjected to the reactions of anger by great devotees of the Lord. One should therefore take great care and attention not to commit an offense at the feet of a devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So now, so the Lord did his pastime. Now is the time for to wind up. So then, how he can go? How can like this? The descendants of Krishna, they are so powerful. They are Yadus and Bhoja dynasties, because they are from the Supreme Personality of Godhead descendants. Nobody could defeat them, or nobody could control them. So then, Lord has deceived a plan. So then he has to take all his descendants back home, back to Godhead. So then what happened? Like he enacted this pastime. Especially the Krishna's son, Samba and other boys, they were pretending that what they did, they had dressed up Samba as a pregnant woman, and they comes and there will be two sages there, Angira Muni and also Narad Muni, they were passing by. Then these boys, they go and ask them, they want to test, they want to joke with the sages. Then they say, Swamiji, which kind of baby this girl will deliver? Then the sage will become angry. He will curse us. He is going to deliver a lump of iron. So then these boys become, they are very much afraid and they come back. But initially they don't tell anything. But later on, this matter was reported to Ugrasena. Then Ugrasena, what he does, as the cursed by the sages, the Samba delivers a lump of iron. That some Ugrasena tell the soldiers to grind it and make it fine powders and just throw it in the banks of the in the sea. Then in the Prabhasa Kshetra. Then with that, what happens? With that wherever they have thrown this iron powders, there, all these big canes were grown up. Then, there's a one piece of iron which was swallowed by the fish. And when a hunter by name Jara, he caught a fish and he found this inside his in the fish. Then he took it and he make an arrow and he shot with that he shot with that arrow, so that Krishna has ended his pastime. So this is how exactly this pastime of the Krishna's ended. And some people says Draupadi cursed him so that Krishna's dynasty will become absolute. It will become nirvamsha. But it's all tale actually. Nobody can curse Krishna because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So then also other thing is in this pastime Krishna is telling we should never offend a sages or a saintly person. The Krishna loves saintly person so much. That's the reason Krishna's, every day we say a prayer, no? Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishna is always favoring his devotees, especially Brahmanas and cows. And nobody should offend these people. So Krishna can tolerate offense against him, but he never tolerates offense against his devotees. So we should be very, very careful. That's the reason, every day, we after Mangalarti, we offer our prayers to Vaishnava, because in our day-to-day, activities, knowingly or unknowingly, we may commit so many offenses at the feet of Vaishnavas. So we pray for Vaishnava prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha. So we beg for the forgiveness from the Vaishnavas so that our devotional service is not hampered. So Krishna is teaching that with this pastime. Then text 25. Yeah. Tata कटियोपैर्मासैर् वृष्णिभोजा अन्धकादयाः ययो प्रभासं संहृष्टा रथैर्देवा विमोहिताः.
I'll read the translation, Prabhuji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. A few months passed, and then, bellwethed by Krishna, all the descendants of Frans, Varsni, Boga, and
Vrishni,
Boga, and Andakha, who were incarnations of demigods, went to Prabhasa, while those who were eternal devotees of the Lord did not leave but remained in Dwaraka. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So as we know, when Lord took his incarnation, so many demigods wanted to go with him. So Krishna ordered Brahma. So you all go and take birth in the earth, so that I will come and do the pastime. So all these people who are the descendants of Vrishni, Boja, and Andaka, they are all came here in the form of human, and they took various lives. Then now it's the time for them to go back, because when Krishna leaves them, they don't have any work, right? So Krishna is making this plan. He sent all of them to Prabhasa Kshetra, but Krishna, he and his eternal devotees, they lived in Dwaraka. So next, text 26. Tatra snatva pitran devan rimschaiva tadambasam tarpayitva viprebhyo gavo baho gunadadu.
I'll read Prabhuji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Oh, shucks. Sorry, my system shut down.
Yeah, you can read from the screen, Prabhu. Can I make it bigger?
Yeah.
Should I make bigger? This okay?
Yeah, this is okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you can read, Prabhu. After, yeah.
After arriving there, all of them took bath, and with the water of this place of pilgrimage, they offered their respects to the forefathers, demigods, and great sages, and thus satisfied them. They gave cows to the Brahmanas in royal charity. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Amongst the devotees of the Lord, there are several divisions, mainly Nitya Sadhus and Sadhu, Sadhma,
Siddha.
Sadhma,
Yeah.
Sadhuma Siddhas. The Nitya Sadhus devotees never fall down to the region of the material atmosphere, even though they sometimes come onto the material plane to execute the mission of the Lord. The Sudhana Siddha devotees are.
Sadhana Siddha.
Oh, it is yes, yeah. Okay, Sadhana Siddha devotees are chosen for the conditioned souls. Out of the Siddha Sadhana devotees, there are mixed and pure devotees. The mixed devotees are sometimes enthusiastic about fruitive activities and are habituated to philosophical speculations. The pure devotees are free from all these mixtures and are completely absorbed in the service of the Lord, regardless of how and where they are situated. Pure devotees of the Lord are not enthusiastic to put aside their service to the Lord in order to go visit holy places of pilgrimage. A great devotee of the Lord in the modern times, Sri Narmottama Dasa Thakur, has sung like this. The to visit holy places of pilgrimage is another bewilderment of the mind, because devotional service to the Lord at any place is the last word in spiritual perfection. For pure devotees of the Lord who are completely satisfied with the transcendental loving service of the Lord, there is hardly any necessity to visit the various places of pilgrimage. But those who are not so advanced have the prescribed duties of visiting pilgrimage sites and regularly performing the rituals. The uh, part of the princely order of the Yadu dynasty who went to Prabha, Prabhasa performed all duties to be done in a place of pilgrimage and offered their pious actions to their forefathers and others. As a rule, every human being is indebted to God, the demigods, great sages, other living entities, people in general, forefathers, etc., for various contributions received from them. Thus, everyone is obliged to repay the debt of gratitude. The Yadus who went to the Prabhasa pilgrimage site performed their duties by distributing land, gold, and well-nourished cows in royal charity, as described in the following verse. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna. Sorry for misreading because my eyesight is very low and I'm seeing from
Sorry,
above.
sorry, Prabhu.
Sorry.
Thank you. So now all these devotees, they came to the Prabhasa Kshetra, and they took bath there, and they offered, Shraddha to their forefathers. Means there's a ritual called as Tarpana. Tarpana is giving oblation to the forefathers, and they did that. And they will do it for the ancestors, and also they will do it for demigods and sages. So afterwards, they gave cows to the brahmanas in charity. So this is what one should do when we go to the pilgrimages. So in the Srila Prabhupada talks about two kinds of devotees. One is Nitya Siddha and one is Sadhana Siddha. Nitya Siddha means they are, eternally liberated souls. Means they come from the spiritual world and they come here to guide the people. So they never attracted by this material world. So even they are the like they are the acharyas, like we have our Srila Prabhupada and also like Madhvacharya, Shankaracharya. These are all Nitya Siddhas. They are eternally. Why they come here to this material world? To guide the people. Then there is another category of people. They are sadhanas. Sadhana Siddhas. They also become perfected. Siddha means perfected devotees. They will also become perfect. How? By their sadhana. So, so one can become sadhana siddha also. One, who constantly chants and engage in religious principles, and they can become sadhana siddhas also. And we see, like, in our movement itself, there are so many, our gurus and so many wonderful devotees. They are, practically they are Nitya Siddhas, they are sadhana siddhas. They have attained that siddhi because of their sadhana. And then when we go to the pilgrimage, what should we do? We should hear about the holy place and we should hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what one should do. It's not that just we go for a sightseeing and we do that. That should not be the motto. So, Narottam Das Thakur has sung. So, to visit holy places of pilgrimage is another bewilderment of the mind, because devotional service to the Lord at any place is the last one in spiritual perfection. Means basically why he is telling like this. Prabhupada is quoting this prayer from Narottam Das Thakur. Oftentimes people will go for pilgrimage, but when they go there, they don't really value what is important of that place, right? So what they do is just they go as a sightseeing place and they come back. But factually that's not the idea. When we go to the holy place, we should go there, we should sit in that place and hear the katha from the sages who are living there. That's what we should do. So there are many people who doesn't live the holy places. Like in our movement also, we have two brothers, who are the pujaris of our Mayapur temple, Pankajangri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu, out of which one is not there now. They are twins. They are Americans. So, but like after few years, they have to go and renew their American passport. But the one devotee, he would never leave. So he will, because since they were twins, those days this iris scanning, all those things were not there. So they were looking identical to each other. So what they would do, only one person would go there. Other person is always stayed there in Mayapur. He never left Mayapur. That was the attachment he had for holy place. Okay. Then when we also go, we should also make sure that we are we go there and we hear katha from the sages who are living there. Otherwise, just it will become just we are going for a sightseeing. Like the model people will go for sightseeing, right? So we go like that. So we shouldn't be doing that. When we go there, we sit in that place, hear katha from them. Otherwise, for us, what happens, we see the pilgrimage not from the eyes, but through the ears. When you hear the importance of that place, then only we will able to relate. For example, if somebody, who doesn't know anything about Vrindavan, if you go and send him to Vrindavan, and he will see all bad thing there. He says, the sewage is not correct there. There are so many monkeys and there are so many pigs in the drain. So he will see that in that perspective. But if he is heard about Vrindavan through the sages, then he knows it is not a ordinary place. This is a place where Krishna has performed his leelas. In this way, we will get enlightenment. Means basically what it means we don't see the pilgrimage with our eyes, but we hear the pilgrimage through our ears. We see the pilgrimage through our ears. Means we hear the potency of that place. So recently we went to Jagannath Puri, and we went to Remona, so many places. So there we went. We had a good association of His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, and there are so many wonderful devotees in Jagannath Puri. So they would tell each and every pastime. If many of you had been to Jagannath Puri, right? The Sri Mandir, inside Sri Mandir, there are so many temples. Even many of them, they don't know what it is. So, but when we hear from the local devotees, we could able to relish. That's how one should do. We should not simply hear from the. We should not see from the eyes. We should hear from the ears. That is what is mentioned here. Next, text 27. Hiranyam rajatam sayyam shayyam vasamsi agna kumbalan yanam ratan ibhan kanya dharamrutti karim api.
The Brahmanas were not only given well-fed cows in charity, but also gold coins, bedding, clothing, animal skin seeds, blankets, horses, elephants, girls, and sufficient land for maintenance. All these charities were meant for the Brahmanas, whose lives were devoted entirely to the welfare of the society, both spiritually and materially. The Brahmanas were not giving their services as paid servants, but the society provided them with all necessities. It was arranged for some of the Brahmanas who were in difficulty for marriage to be given girls. The Brahmanas therefore had no economic problems. The Kshatriya kings and rich mercantile men would provide them with all that they needed. And in exchange, the Brahmanas were completely devoted to the elevation of the society. That was the way of social cooperation between the different castes. When the Brahmanas class or caste gradually became easygoing, being fed by the society, although they had no Brahmanical qualifications, they degraded themselves into Brahma Bandhus or disqualified Brahmanas. And thus, other members of the society also gradually fell down from the social standard of progressive life. As described in Bhagavad Gita, the caste system is the creation of the Lord and is arranged according to the quality of the work rendered to the society and not in the terms of birthright as falsely claimed in the present degraded society. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So when they went to the pilgrimage center, pilgrimages, what they did, they gave charities to Brahmana. Because Brahmanas, they don't work. They are the intelligent class of the society. Their only duty is to uplift the society so that the society will not degrade. The society will not fall into the problems. They always give the right advice to the king, so that king will also be dharmic. That is the duty of Brahmanas, and they will not come under anybody's influence, because when you work under somebody, then you have to oblige what's happening in current age. But these Brahmanas, they are independent. They would give the advice from the scriptures. They will not take side of any others. So in that time, then how the family will be maintained of the Brahmanas? So these people would give them the charity, especially the Kshatriya kings. They would maintain the family of the Brahmanas. They would take care of all their necessities, so that Brahmanas are free from all their these problems, and they would always engage in the study of Shastra. And not only that, they were engaging with the six things, Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan, Dana, or Pratigrahana. means they always engaged in patan patan. They would study and they would teach that what they have learned. Then yajan yajan, they would learn yagna and also they will perform yagna, and they will do this thing. What do you call? They would do. They would accept the charity and they would give the charity. These are the six qualities of the Brahmanas. And Brahmanas are very dear to Lord because just now I told, right? Go Brahmana Hitaya cha. The Lord personally take care of Brahmanas. So we should, the society should take care of the Brahmanas. And also, in Purusha Sukta, Lord says, Brahmano Syamukamasit. So these Brahmanas are the head of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, means Supreme Personality of the Virata Rupa. Such is the importance of Brahmana. So one should give charity to the Brahmanas. But nowadays, what happens? Even the Brahmanas also they become corrupted. What they did is now they become, instead of having Brahminical qualities, they all become caste conscious Brahmanas. So they can never be called as a Brahmanas. Instead, they will be known as Brahma Bandhus. They are the relatives of Brahmanas. So that is what is being discussed here. Next, we move to the last sloka for the day. अन्नं चोरो रसं तेभ्यो दत्वा भगवदर्पणम् गोविप्रा विप्रार्तसव शूरः प्रेणां प्राणे मूर्भुवि मूर्धभिः. Yeah.
Translation and purport by Sri Prabhupada. Thereafter they offered the Brahmanas highly delicious foodstuff, first offered to the personality of Godhead, then offered their respectful obeisances by touching their heads to the ground. They lived perfectly by protecting the cows and the Brahmanas. Purport: the behavior exhibited by the descendants of Yadu in the pilgrimage site of Prabhas was highly cultured and exactly to the point of human perfection. The perfection of human life is attained by following the three principles of civilization: protecting the cows, maintaining the Brahminical culture, and above all, becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. Without becoming a pure devotee of the Lord, one cannot perfect one's human life. The perfection of human life is to be elevated to the spiritual world, where there is no birth, no death, no disease, and no old age. That is the highest perfectional aim of human life. Without this aim, any amount of material advancement in so-called comforts can only bring the defeat of the human form of life. Brahmanas and Vaishnavas do not accept any foodstuff which is not first offered to the personality of Godhead. Foodstuff offered to the Lord is accepted by the devotees as the mercy of the Lord. After all, the Lord supplies all kinds of foodstuff, both to the human being and to other animals. A human being must be conscious of the fact that all foodstuffs, namely grains, vegetable, milk, water, etc., the prime necessities of life, are supplied for mankind by the Lord, and such foodstuffs cannot be manufactured by any scientist or materialist in a laboratory or factory established by human effort. The intelligent class of men are called Brahmanas, and those who have realized the absolute truth in his supreme personal feature are called Vaishnavas. But both of them accept foodstuffs which are the remnants of sacrifice. Sacrifice is ultimately meant to satisfy the Yagna Purusha, Vishnu. In Bhagavad Gita 3.13 it is said that one who accepts foodstuffs as the remnants of the sacrifice is freed from all sinful reactions, and one who cooks foodstuffs for maintenance of his body takes in all kinds of sins, which lead only to suffering. The foodstuffs prepared by the Yadus at the Prabhas pilgrimage site to offer the bona fide Brahmanas there were all offered to the personality of Godhead Vishnu. The Yadus offered their sincere obeisances by touching their heads to the ground. The Yadus, or any enlightened family in Vedic culture, are trained for attainment of human perfection by total cooperation of service between the different divisions of the social orders. The word Uru Rasam is also significant here. Hundreds of delicacies can be prepared simply by a combination of grains, vegetables, and milk. All such preparations are in the mode of goodness and therefore may be offered to the personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.26, the Lord accepts only foodstuffs which are within the range of fruits, flowers, leaves, and liquids, provided they are offered in complete devotional service. The devotional service is the only criterion for bona fide offering of the Lord. The Lord assures that he positively eats such foodstuffs offered by the devotees. So, judging from all sides, the Yadus were perfectly trained civilized persons, and their being cursed by the Brahmanas, sages, was only by the desire of the Lord. The whole incident was a warning to all concerned that no one should behave lightly with Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the third canto, third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Lord's Pastimes out of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, Prabhupada is giving, because they were cursed, right? So we should never underestimate they were not behaved properly. They are not cultured, especially the Yadus, because they are all the perfect intelligent beings. They performed all the Brahminical culture. They were respecting the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. They were the great devotees of the Lord. So, we should not think that, they were, because of their improper behavior, they were cursed. No. So, as we mentioned earlier, they are the descendants, they are from the spiritual world. So, and nobody could contain them. They were so powerful, but they have to end their pastime. When the Lord goes them, and who is there to take care of them? So the Lord planned them to send them back before he leaves this material world. So what he did is he enacted this pastime. So where all these people will fight themselves, and because nobody could defeat them, right? So they have to fight themselves, and that's how they're fighting here, and that's how the destruction of the Edo took place, and it's not because of anything, it's because only by the will of the Lord, not by other ways. And also in Purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, and those people were having only Krishna Prasad. The Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, they will eat only the Krishna Prasad. In Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter, 13th verse, Lord says, Yagna Shishta Ashina Santo, Muchyante Sarva Kilbishai, Bunjate Te Tvagam Papam, He Pachanti Atma Karanat. So the devotees of the Lord offer the food which is offered to Lord first, Yagna first. Those who eat for themselves, they are not eating the food, they are eating verily the sins. Such is the implication one if it doesn't have Krishna Prasad. So the devotees try to follow Krishna Prasad. Then other word is used in this verse is Uru Rasam. Uru Rasam means many preparations are prepared out of grains, vegetables, and milk. So like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. So one who offers with love and devotion a leaf, a water, a fruit, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So these things Krishna will accept. So he will never, so there is no mention of any non meat here, right? Non-vegetarian here. So the Lord will be happy with this. So all these Brahmanas, all these devotees, they would make preparation out of vegetables, milk, and grains. They would offer to the Lord, and they will offer it to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. That was the Brahminical culture, and the Brahminical culture will progress when one follow these three things. What is that? The perfection of human life. Now we can attain the human life perfection by following three principles. One is cow protection, then maintaining the Brahminical culture, and becoming a pure devotee. These three things are very necessary for a human to perfect his life. So with this, we end this chapter. So thank you so much. So any questions or any comments?
Prabhu, all these things now that when they fought after taking the liquor and all these things will come subsequently now.
Yeah. So that will be. This is in short. Okay. In the next chapter also it will come and in short form. But the detailed version you will get it in 11th canto. It will be explained in detail.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Any questions? Any comments, devotees?
All the pastimes are only related to Vrindavan, Prabhuji.
No, now here it's happening in Dwarka, na Prabhu. The Lord is in Dwarka now. This whole chapter, what we read in this chapter, it is Lord's pastime out of Vrindavan. In the previous chapter, we talked about Lord's pastime inside Vrindavan. Now it is Mathura and Dwaraka. As we all know, no, Prabhu, Krishna lived in Vrindavan till the age of 5, till the age of 7. Then at the age of 7, he was taken to Mathura. Then there in Mathura, he lived from the age of 5 to 12. Then he moved to Dwaraka. There he lived rest of his life there in Dwaraka.
So most of the pastimes, then the childhood pastimes will be in Vrindavan.
In Vrindavan, yes. And the fighting with this Kamsa that happened in Mathura. Then also Jarasandha and Muchukunda, then Kalanemi. This happened in Mathura. Of course, Krishna didn't fight with Muchukunda because Muchukunda is a devotee of the Lord. So this Jarasandha and Kalanemi, they attacked Mathura. Then Krishna fought with them. So means he took them to the, Krishna ran away from 17 times. Jarasandha brought his army and Krishna defeated every time. But 18th time, so when Jarasandha came, at the same time from the other end, Kalanemi also came. And Krishna, what he did, he ran away from the warfield. So he went to Dwaraka. So what he did is, when he came to know both the people are attacking Dwaraka. So then instead of fighting, what he did, he sent all his descendants, all his all his family members to Dwaraka. Then only Krishna and Balram remained there, and they started running. Both this Kalanemi, and he started chasing Krishna. So, but when they came, both Krishna and Balram, they entered the cave of Muchukunda. Muchukunda is basically a devotee of Krishna, but he was a great warrior. He fought for the Devatas. So Devatas gave him a boon. So, and if somebody disturbs him in the sleep, when he opens his eyes, the other person will be turned into ashes, burnt into ashes. So when this happened, Krishna strategically brought this Kalanemi to Muchkunda's cave, and Krishna and Balram, they jumped Muchkunda and they hid in the cave. But when Muchkunda opened his eyes, he saw Kalanemi. So he was burnt into ashes. In that way, he annihilated, he annihilated Kalanemi. And also Muchukunda had a curse. He was sleeping actually. So even Krishna has removed that curse also, by giving him darshan. So when Krishna does na Prabhu, he'll do multitask. He comes with many in one activity he performed many pastimes. So this was the pastime took place.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other questions? Amrit Madhav Prabhu, Srimati Mataji, Sushil Prabhu, or me?
No, Prabhu,
No,
thank you.
Prabhu. Thank you very much. Very nice lecture.
Okay, Prabhu. So then we'll close here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Achyuta
Jai.
Any questions, comments, Prabhu? Achyuta Prabhu. Srimati Mataji, you have any questions?
One of the people is Vishnu,
Mataji, we can't hear you. Can you come a little closer? Can't hear you.
Yeah, Prabhuji. In one of the shloka is written the three Vanshaj, Vrishni, Bhoja, and Adharka. What is Adharka?
There are three clans, three dynasties which Krishna came and performed the leelas. But Krishna, he came in Yadus. And also, while he was there, the Boja and Andaka dynasties were also there. They were all related. Maybe when they will have one, I will share that write up about these three dynasties. Like when we come in the Mataji, there will be so many, what you call relatives are there. No? Like there are three different families. One is Boja, one is Vrishni, and one is Andaka. So they are all relatives basically.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavrundi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai
Jai.
Gaur Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, devotees.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sival Prabhu, thank you so much. We can end the session, Prabhu.